The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And as always, another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. As always, we come to you and we meet together at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? We talked a little bit about it at the 2 p.m. update, but we've got a lot of repeated tests of 36.36, well off the recent highs in the dollar. What do we have here? What was the high on that one? High 114.75 on the dollar index, down at 112.183. That also follows a reversal in the TLT and the bonds. I didn't look at that just in the last moment. Let's do that. Take a quick look. 103.39. We got down, well, within a dime or two of that previous low that we've been waiting to get to for a while, and a fairly significant bounce. As we talked about in the update 2 just a few minutes ago, we've gone to the lightest volume that we've had in 4 months for the last 2 hours. So is the end nigh? Well, maybe we get some kind of push out here to find some kind of lows. We got the House just passed the spending bill. I don't think that does much. That's kind of interesting, though. See if we can't go out here. Maybe that was earlier. I just saw that on my list of stuff. Let's do this here because it's not letting me go back. There we go. Maybe someone can actually tell me if that was brand new news. I just saw that flash. So at least one thing off the checklist of 100 things that could kill us still out there. One of the things I also makes me think that there isn't a lot of downside is the retail crowd buying put calls in the money, put calls opposed to out of the money. Generally, the pros will buy out of the money put calls to hedge their position. They don't buy in the monies. So when you see a huge pop in the monies, almost always the retail traders telling you that a low is close. And that's kind of it. We've got a lot of these repeated tests of the lows. The volume keeps dropping each time we have the test of the low. It's not getting more. It's been getting less. And so maybe, a lot of people would call this, if it was any other time, if it was 20 years ago, I'd hear an endless chorus of we're beating out a low. And it's just because everything's been kind of a V or a very tight U in the past that we haven't seen this. Now, what could happen? Putin could croak. We could have the Fed reverse itself. We could see money being put into the market under the guise that we have to because of the storm in Florida, so we've got to help out. There are a lot of reasons why the Fed could have a momentary lack of reason to do something that would change the trajectory in the very short term. I don't have a lot of problem with the long-term calls. What I do know from now, what is this, 24 years of doing this, is expect the unexpected. Be extremely worried when everybody thinks the market's going lower. And frankly, everybody I've known or talked to in the last 25 days or 24 hours has told me one thing, and that is that actually going long, just the thought of it is enough to make them throw up. And generally, we find some extremely good and at least medium-term lows when no one can think about going lower. Now, could they blow out the lows for a little bit and then come back into the trading range? They could. But right now, if you are a Wyckoff-style trader, I don't see how you either talk about the volume, unless you're using something very specific from maybe some ETF or maybe just the traded volume on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, because it's not there. We've been hitting an 18 billion share low with 11, 12 billion shares. So extreme shrinkage. We have to go back to Seinfeld for that. Shrinkage of volumes at the lows. And we've had 100 attempts here to blow them out. Any one of these, you could see some kind of big seller out here. Haven't had it. We've had 3 or 4 days to do it. So maybe we've got a market that, at least in the midterm, maybe between now and Christmas, that will find some reason. Could it be a Congress that is locked for the next couple of years, i.e. the at least one, if not both, chambers of Congress flip and mean that not much happens? The stock markets love that. May not be enough to flip the thing long term, but could you get a 3-month rally? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with getting a 3-month rally that then gets you enough energy to go blow out previous lows around this level. Could it happen in a month? It does. I just don't see, from a variety of sources, or most of the stuff I look at here, an extremely bearish case, other than everybody thinking that the market is going lower, except me. I always tend to think that the big money is on the other side of what everybody and their dog is thinking. But that's me. 877-927-6648. Yes, I think Apple is a big signal, just as they were trying to blow it through the highs and told everybody why it was going to grow to the sky like the beanstalk, the proverbial beanstalk. They're now telling everybody it's going bankrupt. And I didn't believe them at the highs, and I don't believe them at the lows. I tend to be, as somebody well put it in the den, a counterculture trader. I tend to reject when experts tell me that it can only go higher and it can only go lower. They're never right at the highs and never right at the lows. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com, and we'll take a alternate view of the end of the world that everybody seems to be prevailing with their opinions of now. Okay, what else do we have? Can I get canceled like that? Probably canceled like the guy from Apple who gave the quote from, was it the movie 10 and got canned? Wasn't like he was out there talking for Apple, but you got to be ideologically pure to work at Apple. We'll be back in a minute.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
As we come back, we didn't break the lows during the commercial. We're now down 11 points. And again, I look at volume in quite a different way than a lot of folks. I use the CBOE volume that has it all split up 1,000 different ways. So if you want to look and see what's happened, one of the reasons I like that is, especially watching the Amex, which we bring up from time to time because of the trend on it. I think there's only like 250 stocks that trade on it, and I think 225 of them are ETFs, and most of them are not reverse. They're the old-timey ETFs that have been around forever. And so I like that, especially the trend on it, because that's what the retail trader uses almost all the time. So I kind of like the trend on the Amex better than most other systems. But again, we kind of hit that low, and that's kind of it. We hit that Wednesday, Thursday. So the question is, do we really have any sellers left? They've got every opportunity to throw up right before the close today, but this is what, the 4th, 5th, 10th time that we've tried to push through the lows and still no volume. Actually, we had a lot of volume as soon as we hit 3620, and I don't know if that was either short covering, but we popped off of that fairly quickly and a bunch of volume came in. So again, I'm not a big fan of thinking to the downside. Maybe that will come later, but with everybody that I know looking at somewhere to put their big toe in the ground, they're not looking up. And the one thing that if you trade long enough, you're going to understand is just how wicked short squeezes on the downside can be, especially when everybody says there's no tomorrow. But again, I'd sing it if I could, but I'd sing the theme from the, remember in the early 70s, everything was a disaster movie? It was the Poseidon Adventure, the Towering Inferno, but there was that song, There's Got to Be a Morning After, after the ship got turned over. It's kind of like today now. They just throw as many stars into something as they can and hope people will show up. It wasn't a bad movie, but not a lot of people saying, hey, I wish I could go to the theater and watch the Poseidon Adventure or the Towering Inferno or any of those disaster movies. In fact, I'm trying to remember the last time anybody brought it up besides me, but that is I. Okay, first question of the day comes in on the SMHs. So what do we have here? Okay, so we got a test of the previous low. Yesterday we came in with 21 million shares, which was more than the 18 million shares for the low. Today, about 19 million shares, a little bit lower out here. That being said, we're not having the big destruction in the stocks that kind of let us down here. AMD is actually flat from what I show. Is that wrong? Yeah, we got the 30th here. Is that wrong? What is that? Okay, 64.11. And 64.11. Okay, 64.13. So that's right. You've got a break of the low. Volume really hasn't increased. Generally, you want a sign of weakness, and that is a big candle with lots of volume. In this case, I'd think, something in the neighborhood of more, maybe 600 million shares or something, would be a sign of weakness. We really didn't get that sign of weakness. You've got 348 million shares. Yeah. So, you had a little bit more volume. Was it blowout? No. Not a lot of continuation today. So you've got slightly more volume, but this isn't the blowout knockout that probably everybody was talking about. Take a quick look at Apple, AAPL. As I said, I think they're using this one to bludgeon the market to get everybody to throw their shares out, probably at the lows. You got some decent volume in this. It is one of the ones that's out there. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft. So far, it doesn't look like, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater today. It's a little lower. Okay. Again, you had some lows. 184 million compared to 145. This one actually looks some of the best one because the volume is lighter on this, with about 40 million shares lighter on the 16th compared to the 17th of June that you went through. Is that right? June, July, yeah. Okay. So, I got a weekly up here. That's why I keep on looking at these charts and they're not making sense to me. I normally have the 1 year up here. No wonder I'm so confused. Okay. That's it on the daily. You really just don't have that much going on. Very light volume today. Now, everybody's been scaring me here. I guess I probably should have checked that. Certainly 15 million shares, 34 million shares yesterday, 29 million shares the day before, 27. So 15 million shares is not that much. Let's go back and look at Apple because I did have that set incorrectly. Okay. So we had 2 days ago 146 million, 128 million yesterday, 64 million today. So that goes in line on the incredibly light volume I'm seeing. I want to go through the earnings. One of the big losers is Carnival Cruise Line. This did, as they say, break through ice. I jumped through the creek is the other way, right? So this did break through volume. I was not a big fan of going long this thing until you get into late October, November, December. That's where you actually see strength in these cruise ship SS Petri dishes But a lot of volume on the downside out here. Very hard to get all excited about that one. Nike, another big loser out here today. Carnival is down actually 21%. A little less on the loser scale is Nike. This did the same thing. It broke through ICE down with 35 million shares, which is more on the retail side of business, but not unsurprising with high interest rates and some other stuff that we're seeing people cut back on various things. Nike, kind of the surprise, or excuse me, Micron, kind of the surprise out here. Didn't really talk up their stock that much in the conference call, but you wouldn't even know that they had earnings. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, 36.20, just kind of hanging around at these lows. We'll go and take a look at the CBOE consolidated volume. 6.8 billion shares. That's an hour and a half late. So we're probably going to get maybe 10.5 billion shares. Again, the long-term low out here is 18 billion. So I'm not looking for it to blow through these lows. Generally, if you tackle low with lighter volume and you hang out there long enough, eventually you can eat through it, chew through it. But today just doesn't look like there's much there, and we were talking about the incredible light volume. People talking in the den correctly, as I said. Micron certainly wasn't talking themselves up in the conference call, but it's not lower. And you have to wonder at some point, is all the bad news in, at least in the short to medium term, and it looks like for Micron it is. They were talking about how good next year is going to be, so people at this price may be looking at that and looking past the next quarter in that. Okay, got some. We looked at the SMHs. Okay, looked at Microsoft. Okay, question to look at Tesla. Ron. Okay, so you're kind of looking at, let's go here a little shorter, at the previous low. You had enough yesterday as you touched the previous low. You had more volume today, just hanging around at 48 million shares, so you're probably going to have a little bit more. But I think that's a bigger issue with China than it is anything else. Take a quick look at Workday and see. Just kind of sideways action. Did dip below the previous low of August 25th on September 27th. Didn't have the volume. It's back into the trading range. I think those guys will continue to do well. Question to look at Dust, D-U-S-T. Yeah, about the same. Just big trading range. I don't see much in that. Take a look at UNG. Yeah, I see what you're looking at here. That could be something. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days sideways in UNG. Yeah, that could be something. I don't think you're going to get anything before the end of the day. Okay, what else do we have to look at out here? Williams-Sonoma. Housing market, hard to get past interest rates. I don't see much going on. I do like that it's getting close to the June 30th low. That had 2.4 million shares. You only have about 1 million shares so far. So you are back into these big candles back from July 5th when they came up off the lows, and the volume is lighter. So, yeah, maybe you've got your first support level. I don't know if the bounces in these are going to be fairly significant, but certainly the volume is drying up down the lows, at least on that one. As we talked about at the beginning, the TLT did come down, test the previous low. Let's go back here a little farther. Did have more volume of testing the previous lows around that 180 cent level. Didn't quite go through it. You had twice as much volume, and now you've kind of bounced. Volume of kind of light on the light side, but the whole market's there. Question to take a look at the SPYs real quick. We'll do that. Okay, SPYY, no, the SPY, which we'll look at. Okay, got one, got another one. Okay, can we look at silver and AG? We'll do that too here in a minute. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. You wanted to break the SPY low with 134 million shares. You had 122 million shares a few days ago. Yesterday, you ran through it with 112, so that was lighter. Today, you're down on 62 right now. So that's what I'm suspecting we're going to pop back into this trading range unless we find some volume fairly soon. Okay. Can we look at silver and AG? Let's take a look at. Okay, by AG, do you mean gold? Oh, First Majestic. Okay, just took a little while to come up for some reason. I got a lot here. Let's do this. You're in a big trading range. You did have slightly more volume on the September 26th low, but it just looks to me like a big trading range, about 870 back to about 650-ish, 640-ish. And probably running out of the easy money off the low. I'm not a big fan of seeing more volume at the low. Maybe there's something better out there. I don't have a silver set up here. Let's do that. Okay. ZB. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I'm going to have to get that later. It's not coming up for some reason, so we won't look at that. Okay. You got ZN and ZB. Which one are we talking about here? I don't know. Mr. Wellness, which one are you talking about? ZB or ZN? Okay, I'm assuming, since I didn't find anything with ZB, it's ZN, right? Which I don't have on my list of stuff here. Anyway, okay, we'll go on. Okay. We did that one. Okay, FXI. Okay, thanks. ZN's 10-year. I don't really go for those. I'll look at it here in a second. I just look at the TLT. I'm not that granular for the 10-year, 30-year. I'm just a humble TLT disciple. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And we come back. Mike asks for the upside targets in the China ETF, the FXI. You've got some fairly nice and very tight upside targets from Confluence. If you use yesterday's low as the low and the high of June 28th and the high of January 20th, you have some very good and tight resistance levels to the upside. The first one would be 29.20, and the next one would be 31.09. So that looks good. The energy on the way down has been less. You came in with some incredibly light volume back into the March 15th low. That had 117 million shares. Last 3 days, 28 million, 29 million shares. Yesterday, 36 million shares. Today, about 16 million shares. Any close above 26.13 would put you back on. And the only reason I think China could pop back in is, one, they're stopping or changing the COVID zero policy and opening up a lot over there. And two, they're starting to dump some cash back in to get everything fired back up after their zero tolerance policy on COVID. But yeah, that's 29 bucks, a little over that, and 31 bucks. I would probably take the cash at the $29 one. To confirm, you want to close above 26.13 to put you back in the trading range, but actually looks fairly good. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, yeah, I sent you the CBOE volume. It is 20 minutes delayed, but again, I don't look at it for every minute. Okay. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, or email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put messages in the den, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, what do we have here? And we're starting to fade a little bit, not surprising on a Friday. 36.15, but again, just over 7 billion shares. So not tracking for a blowout, at least on volume today. CarMax was one of the big losers on earnings. It is bouncing slightly today after having a disastrous day yesterday. But again, who didn't see that cars and houses are going to have a very tough time? I think a lot of people could have seen that. What else do we have out here? People want to look at. We looked at Microsoft. Okay, question about the Qs. See what we see on volume for it today. Yeah, basically the same volume as you did yesterday, as you did on June 16th, but you didn't blow through it. Today we got a little bit of a hammer hammer candle developing today, and that is on 48 million shares. So that certainly isn't picking up. Now, in a bounce and a downtrend with the energy about the same on the way up, on the way down, you have a nice confluence level at about 308.18. 309.37. Again, there are a lot of these nice confluence levels setting up. If we do pop back into the trading range on Monday, it'd be probably pretty tough for people to do much here today before the close. But that's it. Okay, we looked at GLD. We looked at those. Okay, question about the XME. Got the same kind of thing going on here with this, just a big trading range. Probably the nice thing in this one, we can turn this down a little bit, maybe make it a little clearer, I think. There we go. You've got a nice setup in this. Is it overwhelming for a bounce? No. But if you do get a bounce, you want to look at $50.54. You got a nice confluence there. So it wouldn't be any problem for it to bounce there and still have a long-term bearish view. But, that's what do we have today here? A little under $43. So, yeah, your risk on this to the upside is probably $7. So let's see that. Okay. Okay, question about the IBB, which we'll get to now. Okay. Okay. A little slide out here. We're back down to testing the lows. 3607 on the S&P cash. See out here. Okay. Okay, you gapped up. You had some decent volume, and you've really done nothing but have gone sideways the last few days. Got a little hammer candle out here today, and not much volume. Yesterday, let's see what you have. You gapped up on 3.2 million shares yesterday at 1.7 on a little pullback. Today, you got about 1.6. Oh, we got a caller. We're going to go to Sam in Philly. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Hello? Good.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm actually, I just called about BVN.
Okay. I typed it in wrong. Hang on a second. BVN. Okay, what do you want to know about it?
Yeah, I got in around $6, and I'm going to get out around $8.50.
BVN, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got in at 6?
Yep.
You got nice volume the last 2 days. You broke through the previous highs. You needed about 2 million shares. You got 3.5. That actually looks fairly good on the short term. Let's see what else is out here that you might have. Let's see if we got anything on the shorter term. Okay. On the shorter term, you finished your 1-to-1 on the ABC up today. That was at 719. You got to 720. If this continues, like I said, this is nice. It'll probably go sideways for a little while. Can you hang on through the break?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk about this when we return.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
As we return, Sam, are you still on the line?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pretty much you want this thing to stay above the B point. So doesn't look bad to me. You've got, what is it, the high of about 653.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it stays above there, you probably have a good position. Today would have been the day to sell on the 1-to-1 in the ABC. So I take it you didn't sell already. So, yeah, I would still just sit on my hands and say that you didn't want any lower than that high of, what was it that I was looking at? The low, the high, 653, 650. I think that's where you need to draw the line and put a stop in if you get a close below that. But no, it's probably going to go sideways here for a while. So you're probably not going to get a lot of cash in the next week or so, but it looks good if you want to hold it longer term and just put your stop in. Does that sound good?
Seems
What's that?
Long term it might go to 1128.
I can just barely hear you. What?
Yeah, maybe long term it will go to 1128.
I don't see that, but I think you have a good chance of retesting 945.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good. Thanks for the
Have a
call.
nice weekend.
You bet. We're watching the market go down on kind of like watching a train wreck at 1 frame a second. Not a lot of volume. We are down 34 points. Let's see what we have here. About 7.3 billion shares. So, yeah, it's just a washout on the last day of September. People getting rid of some stocks that they don't want to be in. Is this a solid break of the low? I don't see it on volume, but that's what makes markets. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here Monday, bright and shiny.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible.